Good morning, IS300. We have some presents for you today. So these tires finally came in, and let's see a difference here. I don't want to put that too harsh against the car. Oh man, I have the wrong lens. Let's see here. I don't know how well this is gonna pick up, but let's get this close at least. It's definitely gonna have a lot less sidewall, and I'll be running a little bit of a stretch because the problem is for the fronts, actually I'm not gonna lie to you, I can just look at it. So for the fronts I'm running a 245/40, and the rears are kind of weird. I think they're like a 265/35. Yeah. Oh wow, that's gonna be a big difference actually. But the main thing about this whole thing is my rears are completely different from my fronts. I think technically the rears are smaller than the fronts, and I have the JZX100 front control arms, so it gives me like -6 or -7 degree camber, and that's why I had to run like a weird tire setup. But I wanted something that kind of matched, and that was the only thing that was available at the time. Kind of bad part about it that makes this fitment a nightmare is I'm running front spacers, 1-inch spacers in the front and nothing in the rear. So I don't know if I'll be able to get the angle I want to show you. And you've probably seen it in other videos, but it's not doing it quite as much justice. But I've had people behind me say that like when I'm making a turn, they're like, dude, why are your front wheels like way further out than the rear? And that's pretty much it, because the rears don't have a spacer and the front do. That's a better example. So yeah, pretty much once I get the smaller tires on, I'll be able to come down a little bit lower. I will also be able to put the rear spacers on and obviously come down a little bit lower to get a little bit tighter of a fitment, which I think will help this car look great. And not that it matters too much, but ever since I did the TRD side skirts as opposed to like the Visage style ones, car looks like it sits a lot higher, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and zap these wheels off, drop them off at my friend's shop. He'll get them all squared away. We'll come back, put them on the car, and then end up going a little bit lower. So another thing I have to do today too is pull out this shifter housing and the arm from this R154. That way I can send it out to, I think Drift Motion is the company. And then they're gonna extend this 2.5 inches so that it'll be like perfectly centered with the IS300. To make a really long story short, I've had this shop kind of like, I guess you could say talking out their ass for like 6 months. It just seems like every time they're like, all right man, I'll get you in next week. You know, we lose contact, and then I'll message him back like 3 weeks later and kind of see the update on things. And he's like, yeah, it's about another month out. And then he's like, bring it by sometime next week. And then I ask him what day, and then he's like, well, it's actually gonna be 2 weeks. And then I was just looking at the emails like 2 days ago, and I was like, dude, it has literally been 6 months. And I'm not gonna drive the car in the winter, just for personal reasons. You know, I don't wanna ruin anything, and I really don't trust other drivers, and I just don't wanna put a lot of work into something and then have it ruined quickly. So I would like to have it done by the end of the year. But fast forward, I found somebody who's willing to take on the project, and I'm pretty excited for it. So now I just have to spend a little bit extra money just to get that squared away and make it perfect. And then I think it should pretty much all go together. I literally have everything else. So let me zap this off and get ready to ship it out. Dude, that thing is cool as f***. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I was standing like 4 steps up, and in my head I thought that I was 1 step up, and I just stepped off the ladder, and holy shit, I hurt my leg. Always look down before you hop off one of these things. Okay, so I got the shifter housing off. I needed to make note not to lose these little shims. They just kind of help position it on there. I'm gonna see if I can remove these without hurting them, and also the gasket, because I think they don't want you to send any hardware or anything And also this way it just doesn't get like lost in transition or anything like that. So I think, I don't know exactly where they cut it, but I just know it extends 2.5 inches out to be able to sit centered in the IS300. Otherwise it's like where if this is the opening, your shifter sits all the way back here, and then people who want to do it the cheap way will just cut their center console out, make it look like, you know, make it look janky, and then it just kind of looks cheap. And just, I'd rather have it done the right way and just have it centered. That way it looks as factory as possible. I've always thought that was pretty cool. And then I believe the other part I need to send them is this guy, because they cut and re-weld this. So, let's see, anything on the back? Nope, it should just be a through bolt, so I should be able to just blast that off. It should be the same size, I would think. Alright, so I'm gonna have to, because I have a limited room right here, I'm gonna have to figure out how this comes off real quick. Here's an idea. Use the tripod instead of walking around. Okay, so I have all my shifter stuff here, and I'm just gonna put this in baggies so when I ship it out, you know, I know where everything is. I'm gonna keep it with all the manual swap parts that I have kind of sitting in a corner. And then I got a bigger one for the gasket that kind of goes on the bottom of it. Not sure if this is gonna fit too nice in here. It doesn't have to be sealed, I guess. This one does. So I'll keep that in my shift knob box, because there's literally that and a clutch fork in it. So I'll keep that together. I'm gonna clean this up before I ship this out to California. And then I need to hurry up and start getting these wheels off so I can get back sooner. So this will be to give a little bit better comparison. It's sort of hard to tell, but if you can use your imagination a little bit, you'll kind of see what I'm going for. I want a little bit of stretch, but nothing too crazy. I'm not going like super stance. I just want to be able to get the rears down a little bit more. All right, it took me like 100 years to figure out how to jack this up right with the side skirts, and decided to just pretty much say f it. Took the side skirts off over there, and I'm gonna finish getting this wheel off. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and get the other two off, head up to the shop, come back, and hopefully we can just install this no problems. Okay, so that's one side off. Like I said, I'm gonna just get the other side off and get to heading up there. Okay, so I just wanted to share an exciting story. And my favorite part, because I mean, maybe if you look hard, you can tell a difference. I think it's just a bad angle. Yeah, you can't tell. So I was trying to jack up. I was trying to jack from the pinch weld over here. And this is why I always say I fucking hate working in rocks. The jack slipped, moved forward, kind of caved the fender inwards, and every time that I would open the door, it would go, and the entire bottom was caved in. Luckily, if you have like a rubber hammer or like a dead blow or something, you can kind of fix that. Not gonna lie, I was getting a little upset for probably 10 minutes, cooled off, thought about what I could use, and luckily it was enough to straighten it out. But not gonna lie, that was about to ruin my entire fucking weekend. So I got this one to get off and that one to get off, and then I'm getting this taken care of, because this is starting to become, whew, it's starting to become something. Okay, all the wheels are officially off. Now I'm just gonna get ready to put them in the back of that truck there and head up and get these tires taken care of. All right, I gotta finish loading these up and then we are out of here. I also just figured out that tailgate doesn't work, so that's fun. Just got back from my buddies. All the tires. Stretch isn't wild, but it's definitely a lot less sidewall than wherever I have the other ones. So I'm gonna put these on. And I also have to put these on the rear so that they'll actually match the front. That stretch is looking nice. I think we'll roughly sit like this when it comes down, so that'll be sick. It'll be super close. I'll get it low enough to where it's almost touching, but that's sick. For some reason, it just became humid as hell outside, so I'm just gonna try and finish blasting these on as quick as I can. I probably won't film it just so I can get it done a lot quicker, and then come back when everything's back on the ground. So just got everything dialed in. Now about to take this on a test drive, make sure there's no crazy like rubbing or anything. And then I'll come back, put the side skirts back on, and then we will wait till it gets dark and do some like cinematic stuff at night. I think that'll be rad. Okay guys, it's actually been a whole week later, and I'm not gonna lie. Did some driving around, did not like how low it was. I'm used to feeling kind of comfortable driving this car, and at this point it's just one of those things where like, well, I don't know if you can tell there, but like my little bottom lip is kind of folded over. Let me think, what was I gonna say? Pretty much, I'd like to bring the front of the car up. I think the rear sits perfect. I don't really think I have any problems with the rear, but it's the fact that I have the JZX100 control arms up in the front is what's making it kind of funky. So yeah, with the JZX100 upper control arms, it's shorter, so I have a lot more camber. So naturally the car is going to be lower, but I think if I just raise the front a little bit, it'll be okay. Because like I said, I don't really have problems with the rear too much, or really at all from what I've noticed. But sometimes when I hit a little dip in the road, the front just slams down, and I really don't like that. This side might be a little higher just in general. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead, get the other side up, and kind of see where we go with that.